Hello there, Internet. It's been a while. I have had an interesting little fall. Been very, very busy doing work stuff and also been very, very sick at the same time. So haven't had a lot of time to do making videos and whatnot. Hoping to remedy that in the near future. Got a new camera. Got rid of the green screen. Wasn't really adding anything. It was fun to play with. Maybe at some point, if I have some reason to actually put a thing like floating behind me or whatnot, it might make a comeback. But for the moment, just trying to figure out how to use a new camera and unfortunately having to do some editing. I don't know, I could probably live stream from my camera somehow using some technical chicanery, but I don't know how to do it just yet. But I think editing is really the future. At some point, I'm going to have to just get down and get over my personal sort of binary approach to dealing with that sort of thing. Because I'm very much have this personality that one of my family friends used to describe as toothbrush. She had this experience where it was like either she didn't want to clean the bathroom or she was down, hands and knees, cleaning the bathroom grout with a toothbrush. Very extreme duality. And that's kind of how I feel about my previous experience of editing has been. Either it's like, let it all hang out, let it be loose, or everything has to be perfect. So I'm going to try to find the middle ground. That's a big part of what I'm doing in the upcoming year. So hopefully more videos, higher quality, and when I space out in the middle of a sentence, that'll get edited out. I'm leaving that one. So yeah, that's just an update on what's going on with this little project here of this channel and what I'm about. So I figured tonight, just to get the ball rolling, get back in the swing of things, and talk about just one little attitude of mind or habit for sort of navigating the world of ideas that's out there. Because there are just tons of information sources and it can be confusing. And so one sort of approach that I've found useful in my life for dealing with all of that is just to really get in the habit of evaluating ideas for their own internal structure, coherency, rather than worrying too much about where they're coming from. Now, I make a lot of choices, and I did a video before about what sort of information streams I tend to pay attention to. But sometimes I will pay attention to a bad source of information just to see what's circulating there. And once in a while, you just turn up a diamond doing that sort of thing. Somebody out there who otherwise, may practice bad habits of mind or may be disingenuous or whatnot, will just come on some nugget of truth that you haven't seen. And you can add that to your repertoire. You can just put that in your toolkit, whatever metaphor you want to use. And it can be an idea that helps serve your happiness going forward in the future. Now, the key thing there is the measure of the trustworthiness of a source is not the quantity of good ideas that you get from them. It's still fundamentally how those good ideas came about, what the motivations were, what the methods were. Just because somebody happens to get the right answer a couple of times to a couple of questions doesn't mean there's somebody that you should then credit and trust and take on board whatever they're offering without critical analysis. You still have to keep doing that work no matter how many times a source of information has turned up good information for you. You really got to think about, why are they doing this? How are they doing this? What are their methods and whatnot? So it's sort of getting past the idea of evaluating a source at one point and deciding whether or not to trust them, and getting to the point where you can take on any source and just sort the wheat from the chaff for yourself. Find the good stuff, leave the unfortunate stuff aside, and make it so that any incoming information stream can be a source of a contribution to your well-being, rather than getting locked into a situation where you're either only paying attention to a few sources and thus at the mercy of any changes that go on in either their methodology or their motivation, or just sort of taking in whatever comes, and then you're just at the mercy of the sort of preponderance of ideas that come through. Building the sort of understanding of yourself as an actor in an intellectual world, and you are somebody who has to engage with ideas rather than simply receiving ideas. You need to train yourself to be able to assess their merits and their usefulness to your life going forward, dynamically, on the fly, moment to moment, every single time you're receiving any information from any source. That's a project. That's something that you can take on. And I think it would be a real contributor to your well-being if you did. So, best of luck.